All right, finishing up this module on transversals and angles. We're doing this third day here. I can apply, again, my success criteria, my learn to go. I can apply the rules for different situations using lines with parallels, so transversals and angles. So we're going to apply those rules that we talked about in the day 2 stuff. So just a quick reminder of what we did on day 2. Remember, we talked about alternating interior angles being congruent, alternating exterior angles are congruent, consecutive interior angles are supplementary, and corresponding angles are congruent when the lines are parallel. So this has to be true for these 4 things to have happen here. So if we look at the above, we're going to list 4 ways that you can show that the 2 lines are parallel. So we're going to show that they are. And how do I do this? Well, guys, I can look at these different angles. I could say that angle A is congruent to angle E, and that they are corresponding angles. So then my lines have to be parallel in that case. So that would be one way of doing it, okay? And I could pick any pair of corresponding angles that I wanted to, okay? I could say angle E is congruent to angle D, and they are alternating interior angles because they're both in this spot here that they're 180 or 118. So that would be another way. That's not the only. There's a lot of different answers for this. Okay. Let me do this. What if we did angle G is congruent to angle B, and they're also alternating exterior angles. So because they're alternating exterior and they're congruent, that means those 2 lines are parallel here. These 2 lines are parallel at that point in time. Okay. Again, both things have to be true for it to show that they're parallel. That's how we're applying this, okay? And then, just for kicks and giggles, let's use a consecutive interior one. So if I looked at angle, again, angle E and plus angle C equals 180. So they're supplementary to each other, and these are consecutive interior angles. So because they're supplementary and they're consecutive interior angles, that means those 2 lines are parallel. So, and that's what we're, again, ultimately trying to look at is apply those things, okay? So that's one application. We can show that those lines are parallel based on that, okay? Another application, I can find different measurements of angles just because they're parallel. So a little bit of notation here. In this figure, I've got angle 1 is 80 right here. This is 80. And then I want to find all the others and give justifications. These little pink arrows state that these 3 lines are parallel to each other. So now I'm given that those lines are parallel to each other, and I'm given different positions, and I'm given one angle is 80. Well, guys, I can apply this. Angle 1 is in the upper left, 5 is in the upper left, so this has to be 80. Again, if I go 1 and 5, 5 and 9, that one's also all upper left corners, so they're going to be all 80 because of the corresponding angles. Okay? I can go to angle 3 here. That's vertical to angle 1, so that's going to be 80. So before we even get into these problems, I just look at this. And then 7 and 11 are also going to be 80 because they're in that lower right corner with 3. Remember, vertical angles are always congruent. Okay? Then let's talk about the other ones. Well, angle 2 and angle 1 are linear pairs. Remember, linear pairs are always supplementary. So 1 and 2 should add up to 180. Well, 180 minus 80 is 100. So angle 2 should be 100. Angle 6 should be 100. Angle 10 should be 100 because they're corresponding. Okay? And then 4 and 2 are vertical, so they should be 100, 100, and 100 if you're looking at that. And we can find all these angles, okay? So if I look at this one, angle 1 is equal to 80 because it's given to me. They gave that one to me. But angle 2 is 100 because it's a linear pair with angle 2. Or sorry, with angle 1. Okay? Angle 3 would be 80 because it's vertical with angle 1. Okay? And then, again, angle 4 is going to be 100 because it's also a linear pair with angle 1. So everything's going back to that. Okay? Then if we keep looking at a couple of these, if I look at angle 5, again, we said that one's 80 because it is corresponding with angle 1, and L is parallel to M. So those two lines are parallel. Okay? And then this 6 is going to be 100 because it's corresponding with angle 2. And again, L is parallel to M. It's important that we have that bit of information as well. So we're just applying this as we go here. Okay? All right, keep looking here. We're going to mark all the statements that guarantee that M and N are parallel. So this just resets every time. This is my diagram. Okay? So if I look at angle 4 and 5, those 4 and 5 are consecutive interior angles. And what do we know about consecutive interior angles? They should be supplementary. So R64 plus 64, does that give me 180? And the answer is no. So this does not guarantee. So we put no on A. Okay? If I look at 3 and 6, 3 and 6 are consecutive interior angles, so those should add up to 180. If I go 118 plus 62, that gives me 180. So this would be a yes, that is enough information here. Okay? 1 and 5 are corresponding, so they should be equal to each other as well. And 42 and 42 are equal, so this would be a yes. That is the right information that I have for that one as well. If I'm looking at 3 and 7, 3 and 7 should be, again, supplementary in this case, and so I should be adding those up to give me 180 for that. Or sorry, nope, sorry, 3 and 7 are corresponding, so they should be congruent, so they should be equal to each other. But if you look at this, I've got y and then 180 minus y. So this is not the right information that I have here. So this would be no. Okay, 2 and 6, again, sorry about that earlier. 3 and 7, again, those are corresponding because lower right, lower right. 2 and 6 are upper right, so those should be equal to each other, and they're both equal to the same expression. Guys, it doesn't matter if it's an expression or if it's values, so this one would be yes as well. That's the right stuff for that as well. Okay? So I'm just looking at them and trying to apply some of those rules that I've been given. Okay? All right, moving on here. If I look at this next one, I'm looking for the values of x, so I can find values from this when the lines are parallel. So my arrows are telling me these are parallel, and I want to find x. So if I look at x, I'm going to compare both these x's. Those are alternating exterior angles. So those two angles should be equal to each other. So I'm going to go 17x minus 70. That should be equal to 2x plus 5 because they're congruent to each other and my lines are parallel. So now this is just solving a multi-step equation like I did before. So I'm going to minus the 2x. What I do to one side, I have to do the other side. That gives me 15x. Minus 70 equals 5. Then I'm going to add the 70, and that'll give me 15x equals, again, 75. And then I'm going to divide by 15 at that point in time. So divide this by 15, divide this by 15, and that'll give me x is equal to 5. Okay? So I've got 5 for this one. And then my y's, if I look at here, I've got my y's are in these two spots. here and here. Those are consecutive interior angles. So what that means is I should be able to go 3y plus 5 added to 5y plus 15, and that should equal 180 is what you should get for that. Okay, so I'm just going to solve this, combine those two, that'll give me 8y. Combine those two, that gives me 20. And then I've just got to solve it. So minus the 20, minus the 20, that'll give me 8y equals 160. And then divide by 8, divide by 8, and so y should give me 20. Okay? So all we're doing again is just, we are just simply solving, setting up and solving at that point in time. Okay? All right, looking at this last couple with parallelograms. So we talked about with parallelograms on the last video that angles opposite of each other are equal and angles that are right next to are supplementary. So if I have this angle as 127, that means that x has to be 127 as well. Okay, because of that rule that when you have opposite angles, they're going to be equal to each other. Okay. And then my other rule is to find these ones that are right next to you, they should be supplementary. So if I go 180 minus 127, that gives me 53. So this w is going to be 53, but also the y is going to be 53. And then that will just help me find all the rest of these angles that I need to find as well. Okay? And then I can apply that same rule here. I'm just going to go angles opposite each other should be equal. So this should be 2x plus 40 equals 70. I'm just going to solve. Because again, they're opposite of each other. They should be equal to each other. So minus 40, minus 40. That'll give me 2x equals 30. And then divide by 2, and x is equal to 15. Okay? And then the other one's going to be, those two should be equal to each other as well. Again, you could use the supplementary rule. I just find it easier to set this up this way and go that route rather than the other. So 5y plus 15 equals 110. So minus the the 15. And I get 5y equals 95. And then I'm going to divide 95 by 5. So divide by 5, and I get y equals 19 for this one as well. So, okay, so that's your application. You're just applying those rules when those lines are parallel when we get that. Okay? All right, we'll see you.